Today I'm gonna max spin the lucky spins for Skogul, who is an amazing infantry hero in Call of Dragons. At least I think she has tremendous potential. So stick around in this video, not only for the spins, but there's a bunch of stuff people don't understand about how she works. I'm gonna explain it in this video and why I'm personally going for her. So let's get going. Hello my friends and welcome back. I'm Chisgule Gaming and today's video is sponsored by the makers of Call of Dragons. And I've already gone in and max purchased the bundle for the lucky spins using dragon tickets, which is a way to potentially get a discount depending on what region you're in. Now I made a full video about dragon tickets and how you can get about 10% more value on your purchases. Card will be in the end screen for that one if you haven't already seen it. It's kind of a big deal. So I've already gone in and I've max purchased the bundle, and I'm going to spin for Skogul. I think that Goresh and Skogul together are going to be the freaking jam. I also think that Madeline with Skogul would be a great play if you weren't going for Goresh, which I think would be fine. So let's go now and do our spins and see how we do. And I think I've got like exactly the first skill maxed on her. So we can kind of, I have 10 extra tokens. All right, I have 10 extra tokens. So we'll keep track of how many tokens we get of Skogul. I heard people are just getting some insane results from this spin. So let's get to it, baby. We've got 100 spins and then, boom, 1 token off rip is really nice. After our 100 spins, we're going to go in and also do the gem spins. So I'll spend gems for another, I think it's 100 tickets, 70k gems. Boom! Full pull. Let's go. All right, well, off to a great start. Wow. Okay. Hey, yo, give me lots of Skogul. All your Skogul belong to us. So what does Skogul do? Well, first of all, she's got 4 skills relevant in the open field, and you love to see that for open field heroes. In addition, she's got some tanky stats. In fact, her active skill is going to give her vigor. Now, the weird thing about buffs in this game is they don't stack with each other, so vigor effects do not work together. So if, for example, you use Garwood and the Stripe Bear, what a great pet for Garwood, that gives a vigor buff. It's not going to stack with Skogul. So anywhere you'd get vigor, like Hosk gives vigor, not going to stack with Skogul's active skill. So there's a bunch of situations where she's honestly just like not going to work, but the situations where she does work, man, it is really good. So I've often felt like the thing I needed to do with my infantry was more counterattack. And in that regard, Madeline Nika, which was the meta, it was a slam dunk, it was so good, has fallen off so hard. And it's just the Nika that's fallen off. The Madeline's still pretty damn good. So since Nika has fallen off, what's the replacement? And I felt like all I really wanted to be doing was counterattack damage, that I didn't really have a great way to do skill damage, and Nika's got counterattack, don't get me wrong, but hey, full pull on Skogul, big poggers, granted, that was about pity. Anyways, I really wanted counterattack, man. So what does Skogul do? Her active skill says she does extra counterattack damage. No, broski, she does extra counterattacks. An extra counterattack. I think against everything hitting her, but I don't actually know if it's everything, but I think it is. So extra counterattacks is actually the jam. Like, this is exactly where we want to be with a hero. By the way, that pull's actually straight fire. 8 medals and 1 token is super legit. So she is kind of exactly what I was looking for, a tanky-ish hero to pair with Madeline, and it turns out that Goresh, I think, is an even better pair, which is why I'm going to stick the 2 of them together, and then I'm going to try to basically run 2 infantry marches most of the season, because I felt like infantry marches dramatically define where the front line is set in a battlefield, and it's easy and tempting. That's been sucked. It's easy and tempting to stay away from units that kind of get shitty merits, but do the work that needs doing. It's easier to just focus on DPS, right? But I think it's very important, especially as a T5 player, that I bring the infantry to that front line and I control where the battle is happening. So I'm in for multiple infantry. That's what I'm trying to say. Even though like multiple infantry stacked on top of each other is like pretty meh, but whatever. Now we're almost done with our 100 pulls. Another full pull of Skogul. Let's go. Love to see it. Okay, dude, that pull was wicked. Then we claim all these goodies. Skogul, 5 tokens, 10 Skogul, 10 tokens, and 15 Skogul. But I am not done. We're whaling up. Purchase with gems. We max this out. 100 more tickets, easy. Confirm. And just as fast as I consume or gain gems, I consume them. So GG, let's keep spinning and see what we get here. Now, the developers did say that they're looking at what you do with extra legendary hero tokens, the hero that you've already awakened. If you're already subscribed to the channel, that's something you would know, because I made a video where I actually went to the meetup for Call of Dragons in Cologne, Germany. The developers flew me to Germany, and it was an amazing experience. And there was a short Q&A session where one of the questions that was answered was, hey, what do we do with excess legendary hero tokens for those of you that max a hero and then like keep getting them, for example, from gold keys? And they said they are looking at what they're going to do. Now, I've got really strong feelings about what that should be. I think it should not be run in the mill. I think it should be something special that you can obtain by virtue of having these excess tokens. It should be cool. It should always be like a hell yeah whenever you full pull a legendary, even if you already have that legendary maxed. That's my 2 cents on that one. It should always be hugely exciting. That way you're always interested in continuing to do those pulls, okay? Also, like, the game's more fun when all the things are exciting that are supposed to be exciting, right? Like, getting a full legendary should be a hell yeah, not a damn, I already have that, right? So, anyways, that's something that they're looking at. I am very hyped for that, and I think that's going to be a really cool direction if the devs do go in that direction. And, you know, one thing I do want to touch on very briefly, let's go full Skogul. Big poggers. One thing I want to touch on just very briefly here is that I am painfully aware that in this season, for a big pull, free, wow, full Skogul. Okay, we're not going to pity. We are just getting value now. Wow, 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 wow. Anyways, as I was saying about free healing, big changes to the way that free healing works. My understanding is the developers wanted to have a different set of policies this season to make other strategies viable. My understanding is that they did not intend to completely hamstring the free healing option, but that feels like that's exactly what's happened. And the developers are actively, as I understand it, at the time of this recording, by the time this goes live, they may already publish something, but they're looking at what they want to do about that. And I think there's a couple things I would like to see personally. I'd like to see free healing be just as viable as it was in previous seasons of the game. And I would like to see the elixir capacity that you have go up based on the amount of troops you can heal per hour. In other words, I think it's kind of important that a game respects your need to sleep 8 hours a night, and you shouldn't get punished for sleeping. So things that regenerate over time, like CP, for example, I love that you can manage your CP, spend it down when it's convenient to you, and you don't have to manage your CP, but twice a day and keep it fully drained, right? Just twice a day, and you can keep it fully drained. You can sleep, you're not losing value. Regeneration systems in these style of games should, you know, like allow you to sleep and recover. So like, I feel like the hospital should be working while you sleep for ideally at least 8 hours, but preferably closer to like 12 hours worth of elixir you ought to be able to have saved up. Full pull again! Bro, I am crushing this wheel right now. Oh my gosh. I am actually destroying this wheel. And I'm super hyped because like, I'm really excited to get some freaking value with Skogul, man. So let's freaking go. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because we're not done yet. I just want to show you a little bit more about how Skogul works, because, again, the amount of myths about how she works, I think, exceeds the amount of factual information, which is really weird. And like, look, I get that she's new and not everybody understands how she works, but I have my hands on her, so I'll show you how she works. By the way, I picked up in total 138 tokens, which is like actually not that insane. Like, I know it sounds like a lot, but it's actually not that insane. It's like good. It's good pulls, but not crazy. Crazy pulls are in like the 160 plus range. Then you've like achieved crazy. By the way, if you are deploying skills onto your Skogul, I think it's important to max the second skill. So max the first skill, max the second skill, in my opinion. From there, you can kind of like, I feel like you unlock the fourth skill. Like at that point, it doesn't really matter. But let's do these skill ups. We go 1. Great. We're looking to get that attack and hit point bonus. Just lock in that win. And I think I can max this skill here, which is like really amazing. Very good. So from here, I can go and actually unlock the remaining skills, which I'm inclined to do. Like, I don't think the 15% of attack that I get over here is more valuable to me than the incremental gain in healing. We look at this and it goes up by 3. Nah, I mean, I think I just want the stars. This does go up in a non-linear way. So I suppose if you're being really technical, like actually, maybe it does make sense to max this skill before you unlock the last one. But I mean, the difference between these is so small. I'm just going to go for it. And like, look, I will say, like, the last 2 points here, you go up by 4% and 5%. Like, that's pretty decent. But also, the heal is very important here. This is very important, the inf sustain. And you're getting hit by so many things. Like, consider this a heal every 5 seconds. It's so good. So, with all that said, let's deploy my stars here. And we'll unlock some more skills, which is really hype. I have an excess of stars here. I'm not sure where I'm using them yet. I am very comfortable taking her up to 5 stars. So, I suppose that's something we can do together. And then we can just go check her out real quick and show you what we can do, all right? So the reason that 5 stars is especially important for infantry is that it is an attack mitigation. So that is actually just straight up making you more tanky, which is, I mean, very critical for infantry. The job of infantry is primarily to soak damage. And in that regard, I do feel like she does leave a little something to be desired. I mean, I know I've been singing her praises, but like, your job is to soak damage and deal counter. Like, that's what infantry life is, man. Soak damage, deal counter. That's the whole game. That's what you do. But let's take her to 5 stars. And we can enjoy the benefit of that. And, you know, the next time the wheel comes around, I'll probably get another 2.5 skills to deploy. Maybe 3 if I'm lucky. And, you know, they'll go randomly, and that's, like, kind of fine, quite frankly. So we'll get one more Wheel of Skogul. This happened on the first day of Strongest Lord in the new Season 2+. And the significance of that is that the way the season works is different than how the cycles go for the rest of the season. You'll get your Strongest Lord starting a week after your new server opens, which, you know, look, technically, it's Thursday where I am, but, like, again, it's technically a Friday in UTC time. So, you know, the weirdness is that normally you get wheels on like Monday night, right? When you have Barb Day on the Strongest Lord. But for this, you get it on the first day of the Strongest Lord, and it's on that Friday. So, unfortunately, this does consume like basically more than all the stars I accrued from this wheel, which is kind of tragic. Like, I really want a 6-star hero, but taking heroes to 5 stars, man, is a lot of stars. And then 6 stars. I mean, I can take a hero to 6 stars, and also I can take my Goresh to 5 stars, which, as I mentioned, is very critical in my eyes. But we're almost done here. Taking Skogul, and oh, there we go. Skogul, 5 stars. The thing I want to show you is actually her counterattack range, because I think people don't understand this. So, you know, look, people saw this skill, and it says Legion deals additional counterattack damage to every second to legions at close range when they launch a normal attack against your legion. And people thought that meant that you have to like actually potentially be infantry or potentially be a cavalry unit. No. I don't think that's true at all. There is a range, and I can actually prove this to you. And the funny thing is that you can actually use her with with archers, with marksmen, but her range is short. So it doesn't work exactly. So let me just get some marksmen and show you precisely what I mean. We'll go take Freygar. Here she is. And we will go take Skogul. We will bring archers. I'm going to put the bow back onto her after we did the bear raid moments ago. And let's go find a 39. And I want it to be a ranged 39. So this is something I learned from the professor. Shout out to the professor. I theory craft with the professor very regularly. And if he's got a social link he'd like me to share, I'll probably drop that into either the pinned comment or the description. But this was kind of his idea to like see how this works. It's like, hey, just go get a Darkling Archer and you can look in the report. And I was like, yeah, I can look in the report for a Darkling Archer. So the Darkling Archer is going to have a long range. And my Skogul is not, although Freygar will. So the archers will shoot at range. I will give myself the buff, but we'll look in the logs and you'll be like, wait, you didn't do any extra counterattack damage. You didn't trigger the ability. But once I get closer, then you will see I will trigger the ability. And to show you the range approximately, allow me to bring another march out into the field. The meaning of this is to show the approximate range because it's about, and I'll just tell you, it's about 2 templates, 2 base templates away from your target. So what does that mean? Well, let's get the party started here and you'll see. So the first thing you're going to notice is the damage dealt, the white number. Watch this number. That number is 1,900. Okay, there we go. 3,500 damage. Now, goes up to 5,000 because I crit. But I'm actually not doing my bonus counters right now. But if I get closer, approximately 2 bases away, so about here, now I should be doing extra counters. So let's see if we actually can get that to happen. So look at that. We're up to 5,000 and 6,000 damage when we crit. So you can actually see it in the white number that the damage has gone up quite significantly. So remember when I was just a little bit further, that didn't work. When I'm about 2 bases away, I can back up a little more, see if I still get it. I think I will. Yeah, I think. So it's about 2 bases away worth of distance, which is, when you think about it, it's actually a pretty decent distance for most skirmishes. Like, you're going to walk up on the enemy, marksmen and mages ideally, right? You are going to try to walk up on other ranged units, so you're doing these extra counters to them. So if we actually look in this battle log now, we can see once the active skill of Skogul is used, she's the secondary. Here's her active skill, okay? Guerrilla Tactics is not it. Where's her active? Blood-Soaked Battle. All right, Blood-Soaked Battle was used. So you would expect to see some action from Blood-Soaked Battle on the next turn, giving extra counterattacks, but Blood-Soaked Battle, although it is buffing her, is not actually doing anything. Like, Freygar launched a normal attack, Freygar launched a counterattack. You should have had 2 counterattacks, right? You're only getting 1. But if I go way down in this log, remember when I got close to it, well, what happens? Here, we can see Freygar launched a normal attack. I need to pick a turn where the ability is actually active. Hold up. Okay. Here it's active, right? Blood-Soaked Battle was triggered. There it is. So Freygar launched a counterattack, and then you did another one right over here, Blood-Soaked Battle, counterattack damage triggered again. So you have about that 2 bases of range where you can do this counterattack. And I think that's good enough, man. It's not perfect. I wish it was, infinite range, really wreck all the mages hitting you, but it's pretty damn good, especially if this can trigger on an unlimited number of targets. Now you're in a really good spot. You're getting wrecked if you're getting hit by an unlimited number of targets, but like, you want to get into the middle of the enemy, I think, with your Skogul and with your Goresh paired with Skogul, ideally. But like, that's the thing you wanted to do with infantry anyways, right? So I'm really hyped for Skogul. And like, hey, if you're not in season 2, like you don't need to max her yet. I'll work on her. I'll use her. I'll let you know how it's going and what I think. And if it's, actually the jam or not. But my money where my mouth is, like I'm working on Skogul and I'm going to put skills into Goresh. I'm going to take him to 5551. I'm waiting until we actually are about to fight. And I'm getting tokens for free on him from my daily VIP. So that's my game plan right now. And it's really a pretty heavy focus for me with my account. Working on these infantry. That's the thing I'm doing now. If you enjoyed the vid, throw a like on here. Consider subscribing. Like I said, I had that amazing meeting in Cologne, Germany, where I got to hang out with a bunch of players and met with the developers and went to this Q&A session. I mean, if you didn't hear the outcomes of that, you got to watch this video. Very, very important. Alternatively, if you want to see my Goresh guide, card will be in the end screen in just a second. I really do feel like these infantry in Season 2+ are super strong.